Well, we finally got rain. We have not had decent rain since June 18th. I haven't done a lot of videos because there's just not, all I do is drag the hose around. It's been wild. Um, 90 degrees and up day after day after day. It's been just a really bad summer. The garden is doing okay. It's not the best garden I've ever had, but weather's been a real factor. So I've had some crops fail. Lettuce bolts as soon as you put it in the ground, even in the shade. I'm watering things just to keep the roots cool, but it is canning season. And I started probably a couple weeks ago, and I thought I better start doing a couple videos. Today I'm making 4-bean salad, and my bean crop has failed 3 times. It's just been, I don't know if it's too hot. I don't know. I'm having a soil test done right now because I've never had trouble growing beans ever. So I'm not sure what's going on. So I ran up the road, and we've got a great farmer up the road, and I get a pretty nice basket of green beans for $12. And I think that's a bargain because I know what you have to do to grow green beans. And the other farmer I called that I deal with sometimes, the deer ate his entire crop. So he has no green beans. So I feel like I'm doing double batches of things. So today it is 4-bean salad. This is off the healthycanning.com website. I consider this one of the safest websites you can go on. I don't belong to Rebel Canning. I don't do any crazy stuff. This is pretty good, really good. Bernadine, I think, is the company that puts it out, equivalent to, it's Canadian for the ball jars. So this I make every year, and we just used our last jar, so I decided to make a double batch this year. So here I'm going to put my pickling solution on. Right now what's going on is I have a huge pot of water on the stove boiling. That is going to get dumped into, I've got, how many grams? Where is it? So I've got 1,400 grams of green beans, and I cut them so they're really nice to go in the jar. And I also have 700 grams of yellow wax beans. So those are 2 of the beans. Then I've got in this bowl onions. These are Patterson onions from the garden. I've got celery, and I've got red bell peppers. My peppers are not turning yet. They're just kind of sitting there. They're not crazy about the heat, but after this week, we're supposed to get a little bit cooler, so I hope they're happy again. But I've got 400 grams of celery, I've got 500 grams of onions, and I've got 300 grams of red peppers, and those will get put in here. I've got, what do I have here? These are kidney beans. I've got 500 grams of kidney beans, and I've got 500 grams of chickpeas. And these are the chickpeas I canned to wet on March 12th of 25. So I did buy the kidney beans, and I got them at Aldi's, and they're organic. So there's the little label right there. They're very affordable, and I like them because they're already processed. So I didn't want to cook beans last night. The house has been so hot. I have 2 air conditioners going, and I can't get the kitchen cooled down. So I'm learning the fine art of cooking outside this year. so I am going to dump these in with my beans. And the pot of boiling water is going to get dumped over these. In this pot, I am going to mix up my pickling solution and get that on the stove to get it going. So I have, let me put the vinegar in first. I'm using cider vinegar. The recipe calls for white vinegar. We like cider vinegar better. As long as it's 5% acidity, and make sure it states 5% acidity. There are some vinegars out there that say they're vinegar, and they're not. They're a much lower acidity. So this is, what do I have here? 6 cups of apple cider vinegar. And I have, there's an onion. Um, Water. I have 2.5 cups of water. This is raw sugar. It's just unprocessed cane sugar. I get that at Aldi's too. So, and this is how much of this? This is 5 cups of raw sugar. Okay. Then I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of mustard seed, 2 teaspoons of celery seed, and I'm going to add 6 teaspoons of pickling salt. The one thing I'll say about this salt, I cut my salt not by half, but probably I cut it by, it called for 8 teaspoons and I put 6 in. We just don't like things real salty. So I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil because that's going to go over here. When my pot's boiling, I'm going to pour the boiling water over this and I will go through all that. Okay, my brine is boiling, my water is boiling. I'm going to turn this down to low, and the boiling water is going to get poured over this big pot of vegetables. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on the heat and I'm going to bring it to a boil. It is going to boil for 5 minutes. So as soon as that comes to a rolling boil, we set the timer for 5 minutes. Then I will add my beans. So we're going to, boy, that glare is really bad. So that's going to boil for 5 minutes. And as soon as my timer goes off, I'm going to add my beans. Okay, it has been 5 minutes. I'm going to add my beans. And I'm going to give them a gentle stir. And now I'm going to bring them back to a boil for 5 minutes. So this should go pretty quick. Okay, now we're going to start filling jars. I'm going to use wide mouth jars today because I like them a little bit better. You need a 1/2 inch of headroom space. That's super important. And I am canning these outside on the patio. I do pack these down because through the process, they're going to float up a little bit. I'd like the jar as full as possible. All right, this is our brine. Okay, I have a chopstick to debubble. And I shake them a little bit, press them down. You want everything submerged below the liquid, below your brine. Okay, I'm going to check and see, make sure everything's got a 1/2 inch of headspace. So, oops, where'd my ladle go? Start in the back and work our way forward. And if you have a bean sticking up, just poke it down. Okay, I have a vinegar soaked paper towel and I'm wiping off the rims. And you only want to screw them finger tight. These are going to process in a hot water bath for 15 minutes. So it goes pretty quick. Okay, I have a double burner propane cooktop. Now, this is boiling a little harder than I want. So I add a pitcher of cold water just to calm it down. And then I just keep your jars level. So I've heard a couple people say you want 2 inches of bubbling water over your countertops. I have always done 1 inch, but to overcompensate, I'm going to use 2 inches. so, so, okay, so that's 9 jars, and I'm going to go in and fill 9 jars for this one. Fill up with cold water, and then when this one comes to a rolling boil, I'll set my timer for 15 minutes. So I will be right back. Okay, my timer just went off for 15 minutes, and I'm going to turn the gas off, and I'm going to take the lid off. And I'm going to reset. Are we out? We are out. Okay, and then I'm going to reset my timer for 5 minutes because you don't want to pull these out and put them right in the open air. They'll siphon. So to prevent siphoning, let them sit in the hot water 5 minutes. These are boiling away. This pot only holds 6 pints, and this held 8. 1, 2, yeah, 8. So big difference. But this still helps me so much. I should probably buy another one of these to really get going. But for right now, this is a stainless steel turkey fryer I got off Facebook Marketplace for $10. And it's got everything in it is stainless steel. The woman's husband set her porch on fire. So she just wanted it gone, which was great for me. So I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and pull these out and get them on a towel in no draft. There's no wind today, which is really nice. Okay, my timer just went off. It's been 5 minutes. So I'm going to start to, when you take these out, hold them straight. Don't wobble around. Okay, I had a lid buckle. So that's going in the fridge. That can sit in there till I come back. I have never had that happen in water bath canning. I have had that happen in pressure canning. So this is a first for me. Okay, lids are getting cheaper and cheaper. That's all I'm going to say about that. God.